Hi, my name is Cody Hosterman. I'm the Technical Director at Pure Storage for VMware Solutions. In part 2 of this video series, I'm going to be showing you how to kick off a test failover using VVol replication and the Pure Storage FlashArray. So let's take a look. So here's my vRealize Orchestrator instance with my FlashArray plugin and my VVol Workflow Package installed. You can see I have a test failover workflow that I can run. So first let's take a look at my environment. I have 8 Windows virtual machines running on my VVol data store. So these VMs are comprised of VVols. Furthermore, each one of these virtual machines has a VM storage policy assigned to it. This storage policy is a replication type policy, meaning that it has a replication group, a consistency group. And this consistency group has been assigned uniformly to all the virtual volumes, the config and data VVols of this virtual machine, allowing the full VM to be replicated. On my FlashArray, you can see my protection group that represents that replication group, and all of my VVols are inside of that particular replication group, aka protection group on my FlashArray, being replicated to that particular FlashArray. Of course, you can have more than one targets to replicate these VVols to if you want. So I want to do a test failover, bringing a copy of those virtual machines up in my other vCenter. So let's use this workflow to do it. So first I'll choose my source vCenter. Then I'll choose the source FlashArray I want to fail over from, or rather do a test failover from. I can also synchronize the data, yes or no. I'm going to choose to synchronize the data. And then of course I'll also choose my replication group. All the VMs in this protection group, aka replication group, will be failed over together as they are a consistency group. Now I'll choose my target information. If there's more than one FlashArray in that protection group, I'll choose the one I want to do a test failover to. Then I'll choose the vCenter I actually want to failover to as well. Then of course the cluster to recover those virtual machines. A resource pool if you want. I'm going to leave that blank and it'll use the default pool. I'll choose a VM folder. You can choose any one of your folders or of course the default folder if you want. And then also a network. You can either leave this blank or choose a specific network. If you leave it blank, I will create, or my workflow rather, will create a bubble network not connected into any NICs. And then also choose the power on the virtual machines. So this will kick off the test failover. The first process is to synchronize the data. This is going to tell the FlashArray to synchronize the data for all of my virtual machines, all my VVols, from one FlashArray to the target FlashArray that I chose. You can see I have a snapshot instance of all my VVols being currently replicated, and I gave it the name of test failover when that workflow kicks off, so it's easily identifiable. So this will wait for the synchronization to complete, and then once done, it will move on to starting the test failover itself. Synchronization's done, and it's going to kick off a test failover. The test failover operation is actually one API call issued to the array saying, hey, this replication group, do a failover. So it's going to take all the replicated snapshots of all the virtual machines in that particular replication group, and it's going to create new VVols out of them. So you can see all my volume groups have been created now in my target FlashArray, representing my VMs, and in there I have a variety of different VVols. The next step is that the workflow will update the VVol data store. This will associate these newly created VVols with that particular VVol data store. So then those VMs can then be registered and of course powered on. In my target environment, I have my FlashArray 420 VVol data store mounted and ready to go. Once this update is complete, the workflow will start registering and powering on those virtual machines. The thing to note here is that this is a test failover. The original virtual machines running in the production site are remaining powered on and unaffected. This is the reason that I'm using a bubble network in my other site, so the IP information doesn't conflict. Of course, you can choose a real network if you'd like. The next step is to register the virtual machines and begin to power them on. So these virtual machines will be registered. The workflow will then answer any questions that come up when that virtual machine is registered. As you can see, one popped up for that one. Answer it and complete the power on. And it'll complete this for all the virtual machines that are being failed over. The virtual machines will continue to register and power on. You can see these virtual machines are being added to my pure test failover network. If this network doesn't exist and I left it default, the workflow will create it. As you can see, it's not attached to any physical NICs. It's really just an empty port group. Once the virtual machine power on process is done, the test failover will be complete. There's a few more virtual machines to register and power on. Now this is something I'm going to look at improving and seeing if I can improve the concurrency of my workflow to speed this process up. Because I see a couple areas after completing the version 1 of this where I can make this go much faster. So stay tuned as I improve this workflow. So these VMs are now running on my VVol data store and ready to go. So I can verify my relationship, my applications, and so forth. Now in VRO, a workflow interaction has come up saying, hey, do you want to complete this? You can cancel it and let it sit. This will sit until you're ready to clean it up. When you're ready to clean it up, you can go back into VRO, hit answer, and say yes. Execute a test failover stop. This will reset the environment to the way it was prior to the test. It will power off and delete all the test virtual machines and also remove them and completely eradicate them from the underlying FlashArray because it's test data and no longer needed. Though the replicated snapshot that was created will persist. The retention policy on the FlashArray for replicated snapshots is applied to that particular snapshot, so it'll be deleted as retention policy dictates. So the VMs are being killed and then deleted from vCenter, which deletes them from the array. The nice thing about this, right, no VMFS unmap when you delete VMs and virtual disks. It actually deletes the object from the array, so no dead space is built up. When all the virtual machines are gone, the workflow will clean up the rest of the volumes. When you delete a virtual machine on the FlashArray, it cleans it up, it keeps it there for 24 hours. The workflow now actually permanently eradicates them immediately. Normally though, when you delete a VM, you still have a day to recover it if you want to. This workflow just cleans them all up. And the environment is now reset and the test failover is complete. Thanks for watching.